Oh my God, your poor dad.
Do you remember the movie What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
Yes.
With Leonardo DiCaprio as the
Yes.
What word would we describe him?
Jade, don't make me do this.
Like, I don't know the PC to 2024 way to describe what Leonardo DiCaprio had.
I also
Because I know what we would say back in the 90s.
I also wonder if like
Did you press record?
yeah,
Okay.
he's special. Like, he has like some sort of mental.
he has some cognitive differences.
Yes, cognitive differences. And then, you know, Gilbert is Johnny Depp, and he's like kind of hot. And then there's
He was hot.
yeah, he was hot. And then you know what's funny about that is his love interest in the movie was
Juliette Lewis, right?
Juliette Lewis, who also played somebody who I don't know how to describe their condition. And the other sister, which the other sister is such a Brandt family movie. Like, that is, and we still, I'm just going to say, like,
No.
I don't want to get us canceled, but I still, Daniel.
Okay. We haven't started yet.
No, we just
No.
started. Yes.
Please no.
No, it's fine. Everyone knows. Like, I'm sorry. If you're that sensitive, you probably shouldn't be listening to our podcast. But we're happy you're here if you are.
Yeah. And you know what? Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being the fourth Brandt sister, because you know what? You can't choose your sisters, but you can choose your podcasts.
And
Wow.
I heard that you can choose your dogs, but I got stuck with this one.
Yeah. So we've been going through it. Well, you've been going through it. You two have been going through it.
Yeah, I just want to apologize for the noises you might be hearing.
Yeah.
Roman can walk now, kind of.
So backstory, Paige's dog hurt his spine. He's had to be on bed rest for 6 weeks. She just went to the vet and they said, surprise, you have 4 more weeks of bed rest. But we have got to record this podcast. And so we've trapped him in.
Yeah, but if he doesn't calm down, I do have to hold him because
Yeah,
he's like doing too much.
Okay. Well,
So anyways, it's been a really stressful time in my life.
It's good because he has the ability to walk, but he's not allowed to walk. So
Because right now,
That's-
it's his spinal cord's still so weak and sensitive. One wrong move could just snap.
Roman, stop. So that's how you have to talk to him.
Yeah, I'm just
You
going to
have
grab
yell.
him.
Okay, and here's our little star. So that's what's been going on. And so you guys have basically been under house arrest.
Paige
Truly.
especially.
Yeah.
It's honestly made me pretty weird, I would say.
Yeah, you're going back into 2020 vibes. But like worse because everyone else is out.
Everyone else is out. And so I'm just the isolated one.
Right.
And
Tiger?
really, the people I talk to during the day are the dogs.
And
so,
your work friends.
and my work friends. But if I don't have meetings that day, then it's just, I'll talk to Patrick. It's really crazy.
Yeah, that sucks.
Really thankful for Baily. She's been helping a lot.
She's a godsend.
You and Mom helped when I was in Colorado.
I literally watched Roman for a couple hours and it was honestly hell. Like,
I know.
he was. I'm happy to do it again and again, like, because, you know, that's what family does. But he is so annoying. I think people don't understand. Like, you're making it sound like it's just like, oh, you have to keep the dog down. No, it is so, he is impossible to keep down.
Which is good now, because at first it wasn't, because the little guy was in so much pain.
Yeah, but
so
now-
it is good that he's feeling better.
No, it's good that he's feeling better. But when it. But I came over to babysit this dog, and the second Paige leaves his sight, he starts crying, and he does not stop until she comes back. So her being gone for like 4 days, he was sobbing, like literally like, oh, and I'm just like, okay, shut up, because there's a camera in this room and she's trying to have like, let your mom have some fun. She's been away with you in this house.
Oh, I don't think I told you, but I told Baily. I mean, the camera doesn't have to like be on when someone is there.
I know, but like, I just was like, she could log in, and I'm like, shut the fuck up.
By the time Paige got home, he was just like disheveled. Like he had new like welts, and it just looked like anxiety hives, and his ear hair like wasn't laying right. Like he just looked like a raggedy little dog from the streets.
You know what he looked like? He probably looked like the guy from Back to the Future with the crazy hair.
Tito from Oliver and Company.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tito.
Well, because
Take me to the wow.
because he stressed himself out and developed the welts from when I was gone, then he scratched those welts and made them like little sores that got infected. So along with, okay, don't let him limit his movement for another 4 weeks. Oh, and he has this like bacterial infection. So here's these antibiotics. I'm like,
Okay.
this dog, I love him so much, but he's very high maintenance. And guys, I just really have to reiterate, if you're going to get any dog, but especially a French bulldog, please, please, please get your pet insurance before you take that dog to the vet for the very first time.
I just don't think like these GMO dogs, like doodles, Frenchies, like we got to be careful. You got to like make sure you have some money if you're going to get them because they're expensive.
I'm just really glad that, surprise guys, I paid off my car yesterday.
Yay.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So now I have more money to pour into these dogs.
Oh, that's perfect.
I
Perfect
know.
timing.
Honestly, it really is.
Okay, well, that's what's going on with you guys. I moved in with Mr. Roberts.
And may I say, I love your house.
Thank you. I feel like I have imposter syndrome because the house is so nice. Like it's the nicest house I've ever lived in by far. Like, I mean, not even close. Like I went from popcorn ceilings, roaches all over my house to this little like slice of heaven.
like
It's a real rags to riches story.
No, it really is. And like Hank's like so confused. He's like, wait, did you come into some fortune? I'm like, no, bitch.
Am I allowed to be here?
Yeah.
Tiptoe in the house.
Well, it just obviously looks like a really nice house, but the real luxury is the extended like door frames.
Yeah, the doors are very tall. Paige was she tried to jump and touch
Because I was like,
door.
how tall are these doors? And because it makes everything in the house just look so much like brighter and like it elongated. It looks so. Comfortable is not it. Like it's really utilizing.
elevated.
Yeah, utilizing the room. I love it.
Yeah, luckily, I mean, obviously, I could never do this.
And you have a pool.
I have a pool, which is really key. You know who loves the pool is Hank.
And you have a hot tub.
We have a hot tub. We have a cold plunge. We're getting a sauna. I say all this. I mean, Mr. Roberts is obviously.
You, Mr. Roberts, Hank,
You and Mr.
and the mouse
Robertson.
in your pocket.
Okay. Also, Mr. Roberts Sr., again, so cute. He texted me. He's like, do you guys, because we're going to be out there this week. And he's like, we always love having you guys. Do you have my guest room ready?
Because he said that your guest room was ready. And then he said,
and then he asked if his guest room was ready. And
That's
he's just
sweet.
They're just so sweet.
I can't wait for them to come visit.
I know, we're
I'm
planning-
just inserting myself.
Yeah,
that
obviously. They have to see the girls. He always
Yeah.
asks, how are the girls?
we can have like, depending on when they come, either a little pool party or a hot tub party.
Yeah. And mom and dad should come down and we should really have a meeting of the minds.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good time.
I
That'd
think
be so
too.
much fun.
I think that, which, obviously that's not the reason to date somebody
I think yes.
but I think
for
that
me.
you're really lucky that you not only found a great partner, but your great partner has a great family that will be fun to be around.
And obviously, I know that people cannot choose their family circumstances, but this time around of dating, I was like, I'm not compromising on things anymore. Like, I'm not trying to do the work in progress person. I don't want to see anybody's potential anymore. Like, I want somebody who is like on my level and like wants to like grow with me. And that's kind of Mr. Roberts. Like, he was so close with his family. That was like a very attractive, like, that was like a huge bonus point in dating him.
Yeah.
That's not to say that like people who aren't at a certain place in life or don't have like the perfect family structure. It's just like they have to like want the same things,
Yeah.
Well, there's a difference in like wanting to get there and just like floundering,
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I feel like I flounder, but It's fine.
Oh, I am floundering. So that's how I can name that feeling, because it's me.
Do you guys want to get into some pop culture stories? I have a
my
lot, so
God,
I
can't
want
wait. You have so much to teach me.
I know. Okay, so first things first, it is Rush season.
Yes.
And I want to take it back because the way I got started on TikTok was talking about Alabama Rush in 2021. And we just have to take them back to where I was at that time. Like I was in the, talk about floundering. I was like, I was a fish out of water. I had no where, I literally was taking it day by day. I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing because I just left Colorado. And I was like, okay, I'm moving to Austin, but I'm trying to find a place. And it was 2021. It was so hard to find apartments. Every apartment I toured, they're like, well, we already have 5 applicants already in. So that's how I ended up at my little, popcorn.
I really like the way that you say you just left Colorado when really it was kind of like a vacation. It was only a week.
No, it was like a vacation with all of my shit.
Yeah,
and you
that's
were
what it
like
was.
kind of forced out.
I packed up all my stuff.
It makes it sound like I willingly left.
I left Colorado.
No, like I got
kicked
forcefully
out of
Colorado. Yeah. And thank God I did. Like, can you imagine?
Jesus.
Honestly, a week, that was the perfect amount of time. We tried it and then it just didn't work out, which is so fine. And I just want to say to the girlies, because I've had a lot of girls being like, I'm 29, I'm feeling so down about myself. I'm like, honey, I've lived 5 lives since 29. Like, you are going to be just fine. And like, you have to trust that wherever you're going to go, you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Because like, I was like, oh, this is my destination. And it turns out it wasn't.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm staying with Paige and Baily. Thank God they let me stay in their guest bedroom. So I just kind of like moved in for like a month. And like was just hanging out. I was so depressed. I was making these little Alabama Rush TikToks. And that honestly buoyed me.
Yeah.
Because then we started having fun making like, because all the girls were doing the OOTD. So we were like, doing our own Golden Goose.
Golden Goose.
Why do they all say it like Golden?
Golden.
I
think, honey, because they're from the South.
I know, but even girls from
My custom
Dallas.
Goldens.
But I know, I understand the Alabama accent, but Dallas is, Dallas has more of like a less of a twang. It's more of like a drawl.
I think
it's the opposite.
I think when you
switched.
I think when you're, it doesn't matter who you are, but when you're saying my golden goose, like it just, that's just how it is. That's how it says.
The Dallas girls say it like Godins.
Godins.
Yeah, and then I have my Godins. Like it comes out of
like
nowhere.
a name.
Yeah, but then the Bama girls, they say I have my golden goose, my golden goose,
my golden goose,
my golden goose,
my golden geese.
And then Amazon normal. This is my grandma's, and then everything is so fucking expensive.
Well, my favorite thing is like, I don't know what this is. I got this from my grandma,
and it's like a Van Cleef.
And
like
then
that's
some. Yeah, I love when there's this one girl that I always see. She'll price everything out.
I see her too.
And
I've seen her
with the girl with the braces.
Yeah. And even if there's I don't know what this is, she's like, this is what this is. And it's like $7,500.
She breaks down everything. She's like David Yurman, Cartier, Van Cleef.
And it's crazy because there was this one girl, when I just see this girl, I'm like, okay, yeah, she's ready for probably like day 1, day 2 of Rush. And
was
then
it the girl in the red skirt?
Yes. And it was like $13,000.
Yeah. No, it was it was almost $15,000 worth of stuff. She's wearing an Alabama shirt, a red skirt, and then just her jewelry.
I could take her whole outfit. That would have been half my car.
Roman could have had surgery.
The things I could do with that.
Roman could have had surgery.
We could have saved our dog's life with one Alabama Rush girl's outfit.
I'll take just the jewelry. You can keep the Lululemon skirt.
But I have to say, okay, this is going to be a hot take. As a like self-proclaimed Rush expert, Oklahoma is absolutely murdering Bama in the Rush content this year.
So I also agree, but I was wondering if that's just because that is more of our vibe.
Or maybe it's the more like, no, I think everyone is loving it. I think people really like how they're not being so like cutesy and pretty.
But what I really like is it's kind of, for all of the houses I've seen at OU right now, it's kind of like every other day. Sometimes they'll have their like hot, sexy days.
Yeah.
And then they have their really funny days. And that gets you a girl who can do both.
That's more appealing to me as like somebody who's just observing Rush.
And as somebody who is hot and funny and silly.
Right.
Like,
As hot, funny, silly girls, like honestly, Oklahoma is where I will be submitting my petition to bid.
I already did.
Yeah. Which, okay, so all three of us are in the Greek system, which it's so crazy that Baily was Greek. Like,
I know.
I really, like, it's so off brand for you.
I know.
Well, I think it was, I feel like I had the weirdest, because
I'm sorry, you being an Oklahoma Kappa, it's like so not you, but it was like you were cosplaying like a sorority girl.
but I feel like
But it was you for that time.
I told somebody, one of my coworkers, I was like, if I would have, because she didn't know that I went to OU for a little bit. And I was like, yeah, I went. It was the best time of my life because it was also the fall semester. So not only was it sorority, it was rush, it was like freshman year football.
Yeah.
Like I had a freaking blast. But
and you were also like so blonde, so like you were literally cosplaying as a sorority.
Living in a tanning bed, and I was getting my hair done by this 90-year-old man in Norman, Oklahoma, and I was basically just telling him to make it as blonde as he could.
Yeah, like just go blonde,
just
blonde.
just blonder.
Yeah.
I look back, and I will say some of the pictures frighten me a little bit because I look so scary, but I'm so skinny.
You're so skinny, and you're so like Oklahoma Kappa. You like literally fit right in.
Okay, and so I was telling her, I was like, she asked if I regretted leaving, and I'm like, I think I would have had so much fun, but I know for a fact if I would have stayed, I would be married, probably divorced with at least 2 kids.
Yeah,
because I'd fall in love with any of the guys there.
Yeah.
You know?
And you definitely would be married to some guy with like a comb over and who only wears polos and has like slight
And he wasn't
beer
on the
belly.
football team, but he loves football.
Yeah, he would tell you how he played football in high school over and over. That was like
Yeah.
that would be all he could talk about.
Yeah, he might have been on varsity as like a sophomore, but like that was his claim to fame.
And I have one last thing to say about Paige's fake husband that she never married, but in another lifetime she did.
Yeah.
I feel like he was really jealous that you liked to sing and play the guitar. And so he would always try to sing, but he was really, really bad. And he would always like pick up your guitar, like acting like he knew how to play.
He'd always be like, play the, let's do this Josh Abbott duet. And I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. And he would try to make singing his thing, and it like really stepped on your toes. And that's kind of like when the first straw with you and him.
Yeah.
And that's
I'm
what
glad
made
you guys
fall
got
in love.
divorced.
Me too.
And now you got the kids.
And now you
in
have the
this
2
little-
kids,
Yeah.
and they're great. They're
Yeah.
thriving. It is interesting that I was in a sorority, and it's a fun little like hidden fact about me because I started doing my door chant at like my work PD, and they were like, "What is that?" Because I'm a very like low energy kind of gal, even though I'm like very pleasant to be around when I'm at school, but I'm not like the bubbly one that's going to be doing all the extra stuff. And I was like, "Hey, ow," doing the whole thing.
That's so funny. Okay, so we should like go through our rush experiences, just like, a brief overview. I feel like out of us 3, I'm like the most typical, like I was going to be in a sorority.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did it at Purdue because it is so much more low key at Purdue, like compared to your guys' experiences in the South. Or, I mean, what are you, Big 12 back then? They were Big 12 schools, not SEC.
I don't know.
Now they're both in the SEC. Anyways, it was just so like pleasant. Like I loved Rush. And then when I got on the other side of Rush, that is where I thrived.
That's the best part.
As an oldest daughter of all girls, like getting to just like rank people and like cut people. And then I loved the drama, especially because everyone is like from Indiana or Chicago area at Purdue. No one, like I didn't know anyone going through Rush. Like no one from Texas goes, or California. Well, anyways, there wasn't just like a lot of hometown people coming to Purdue. So I would see these girls and I'd be like, okay, we need the cutest girls. It's good for the look. It helps us get good football buddies, It just like helps the house's, steak or whatever. I know it's like not good to say, but whatever. And there'd be girls that are like, I cannot live in this house if this girl gets in there because she liked my boyfriend in high school. And I would just be eating it up. I'm like, this is so
This
good.
is amazing. This is better than a Bravo show.
I know. I'm like, you guys won't let me watch Bravo.
Why
This is my Bravo.
doesn't Bravo like go inside
Because
Rush?
none of these
because they won't let them.
Actually, there was a show on MTV back in the day where it was called like Sorority. like super back in the day, like 2002, and it was a non-Panhellenic sorority. That's how they were able to do it. And it was like rushing where it wasn't like a big rush, but it was like, you know, those like non-Panhell rushes where it's like, you know, more of like
it's
a
like
mixer.
not the juice though.
It's
like,
not the
juice is in.
The juice is in thousands of girls vying for like spots in these houses.
Well, and you know what was crazy for me is because I really didn't understand what I was getting myself into rushing at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand. I didn't tell anybody that you were a Kappa at Purdue.
But I told them.
I know, but what I didn't know until afterwards is like some houses cut me just because they were like, oh well, she's probably gonna go Kappa.
Yeah.
So. But I was like, oh my gosh, why am I getting cut? Anyways, that was crazy to me. I'm like, why would they cut me just because my sister's a Kappa? Like, I didn't understand the game.
Well, it honestly, that's like weird that those houses would do that, because at Purdue, we didn't really cut people because they were a legacy, unless there was like, we needed to make room for other girls. Like, let's say this girl,
I think that's what it was.
Both of her sisters were Alpha Phi's at Purdue. Then we're like, okay, we're kind of on the fence with you anyways, and there's a bunch of other girls who don't have any legacy, so we should do whatever. But like, you kind of have to like make cuts like that, and I just loved it. And the way that the rush goes on the side, like when you are an active member rushing, they have put a lot of processes in place so you aren't allowed to talk shit. So how they did it at Kappa was you rated girls either a 0 or a 10. And I think a 10 was a cut, 0 was a keep. And so you put them in the piles, and then the president would read off all of the keeps, all of the cuts. And then if there was somebody that you wanted to potentially, like, who's in the keep pile that you wanted to cut, you would say 5 when they read the name. So then they would go into a 5 pile where you could discuss them. But in order to like not make it so petty and nasty, like girls just like talking shit, they put a system into place where it was like pro, con, pro. So, but you could only use one word. But there was keywords in there that we came up with, like that. It was just basically like, okay, I'm obsessed with this girl, or I fucking hate this girl. And if you were obsessed with someone, you would say sapphire, because we were Kappa, so blue, whatever. And if you fucking hated her, you would say unaffected. And so it was so funny because you could just tell, like, because you couldn't talk about them, but you could use like mannerisms. So you'd be like, philanthropic, and then, you know, something like that's not that bad, but like aloof, and then sapphire. So you're like, okay, this girl's obsessed with her. And like they would always like try to rack their brain for like a bad, like a con word to like show like, oh my God, this girl's so amazing. Like I have nothing bad to say
like
about her.
Nerdy.
Yeah, like nerdy. Yeah, exactly. And so, but then if a girl fucking hated her, she'd be like, pro would be like pretty, con, unaffected, pro, like has nice
Smart.
hair. Yes. Like something like where it's like it's very surface level.
Yeah.
Like
Nice nails. Nice
Yeah.
hairs.
yeah, unaffected. And then you're like, oh fuck. And then, but if people disagreed on somebody, like let's say like we couldn't agree on like keeping or cutting, you were allowed to open the floor to discussion. And that's when I got really excited, because I'm like, there's gonna be some tears and we're gonna like fucking hear some drama. And I loved that. That was my favorite part of Rush, is the drama.
Of course. I
Of
mean,
course. What else am I doing this for?
yeah, you get what you pay for.
Yeah. And I remember one year we had a bad rush because our rush chair was just kind of like disorganized, and we really like, you have to be so on top of your shit with sorority rush. And I remember we got the list back of girls, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, who are these people? Like, I didn't recognize any of the names going through. And all of us, we were just like, wow, did you see the list we got back? And it was just like so mean, but it's like so funny looking back on it now. It's like so like a rom-com or something.
The most bizarre thing for
It's a drama.
me, not about Rush, but like being in a sorority, they asked me if I would be like our like on the executive board to be
They asked you?
Oh.
to be in charge of the rituals, and I was like,
Whoa.
that's the last.
That was
Honey,
my job. I was the marshal. I loved the rituals. I was like, let's fucking go.
It's like, And then
Bailey's like, I really don't want to task.
Hold hands like this and squeeze your fingers this way. Like, I would have not been able to take it seriously enough, and I would have ruined the sorority.
You wouldn't have ruined it, but it's just like fun. I just like that kind of stuff. Like, I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But I understand it's like really problematic and bad, and I probably shouldn't like it so much.
I know.
People are gonna be like, of course Jade like likes this shit. Yeah.
Jade.
So yeah, basically, Bama, you better step it up because Oklahoma's coming for your fucking neck with Rush. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing I would like to talk about, It Ends With Us.
Okay.
Have you guys seen the movie yet?
Okay, no, but the marketing is working on me because I did not want to see it at all.
And now I
this
want to see it.
Little press tour they're on is so charming and cute, and I'm eating it up.
Did you read the book?
No.
Interesting.
Well, she
I had it on the. I don't think I read it.
I don't think
I
you
would
would like
remember a
it.
name like Ryle. That's a horrible name. I feel like that would really stick in.
Okay, first of all, we need to like talk because Paige and I read the book and we both like hated it. It just like okay, spoiler alert, if you don't already know, if you're living under a rock, I don't know how you could like get past this, but like the big twist in the book is that this perfect guy, he's a brain surgeon.
Well, okay, I also just like have to say like the unrealistic jobs of these people, like, oh, he's this surgeon, and then I like flowers, I'm just gonna open this really successful and so different flower shop.
It was like steampunk flowers.
Yeah, like instead of vases they were in like studded boots.
Yeah.
It's like,
and it sounded so
and she
ugly.
was like got so rich from it because it was so, and it's like, oh,
she
and
had
then
no money,
and then
then
Atlas is like a chef at like some like it's like, yeah, right, you're not all that successful.
Everything about the book was way too perfect. Like Ryle, everything about him was so perfect. Mine is this one thing, him being an abusive asshole, but like everything else, like he was so sorry, and like I just feel like in those DV situations it's not always that perfect. Like the girl doesn't always have such a easy financial out.
Yeah.
Ryle's sister, who is Lily's best friend in the book, they're best friends, and like their friendship is not affected by this literally whatsoever. And her husband is a multi-billionaire.
Yeah, and she just works at the flower shop for fun.
Yeah, and she just like works at the flower shop for fun with her best friend, who is now dating her brother. Everything about it was like a little too perfect. It's like what you would write if you were like in middle school.
Well, it's what you would write if you were writing a book.
Yeah. And so like the big twist in the book is that there's this DV situation.
Is that the twist or is that the premise of the book?
It's the premise, but like it's
the twist is the fucking end. And then I was like, I'm done with this book.
What was the end?
Well, I'm not going to say that part.
It ends with us. I mean, anyways, I think it is the premise of the book, but it's also supposed to be kind of a surprise when you're reading it. So I feel like so anyways, let's talk about the drama around the movie.
Yeah.
So Blake Lively is Lily in the book, or she's playing Lily from the book, and she is also a producer, along with, I believe, Colleen Hoover is also a producer as well, which I think is kind of crazy to have the author of the book a producer, because it's like a lot of emotions there. But Justin Baldoni, he is the original person who bought the rights to make this book into a movie in 2019. Back then, the book only had like a million purchases, reads, whatever, and now there's like over 6 million. During 2020, that's when the book kind of like really skyrocketed on Book Talk. And so he had already purchased the rights to make this into a movie. He wanted to be the director on it, and the drama comes with the promotion of the movie, because Justin is not promoting the movie at all with the rest of the cast. The rest of the cast seems to be very united. Blake, Colleen, Jenny Slate, like all the people, Atlas, the girl who plays young Lily, everyone is doing press together aside from Justin. So it's smelling fishy.
Yeah, I am really curious. I wonder if we'll ever really know.
Someone's gotta leak it.
I really hope so. I also heard, I'm sure you did too, that there was, even though he was the director, Blake wanted to direct a few scenes, and they pitched both, and his ended up like winning certain
what had
scenes or whatever.
happened was they cut. So the editors edited the movie, and then Blake commissioned a separate cut of the movie.
Okay, right.
And they tested those two cuts against each other. So there's clearly some creative differences, but I don't think that's what the cause of this drama is. I think there's two theories going around. There's kind of like the pro Justin theory, and that is that he wanted to promote this in a much more serious way, talking about domestic violence, and Blake and all the other people they're promoting it in too much of a fluffy way. It's not doing justice for domestic violence survivors. And then the other theory is that Ryan Reynolds, he wrote the rooftop scene, which is like a pivotal scene in the movie. And so people are thinking that maybe Blake is kind of like stepping on the director's toes a bit, and there started to be some like rift there. But I just have to say, this movie is about domestic violence, which mainly affects women, like the majority of it. If all the women on the cast are united and there's one man,
something just seems
thinks
off.
I'm going to just be on the side of the girls. Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, I think that's the safest place to always be, is like
On the side of the girlies. Yeah.
The thing is also, the feel that I'm getting from the movie itself is not that it's a dark, gritty look at like domestic violence and how this affects people in the real world. It seems like it's the book.
It's a fluffy book
put on TV.
That's my point. It's like this book was never marketed as this like really like,
let's make a social stance on this issue.
Exactly.
Which maybe that's the bigger problem, but also who knows if Justin's even saying that.
Yeah, I just think that there's like this like small but mighty Justin stanhood, which I didn't even know existed. I did not know Justin Baldoni existed until now, because apparently he was on like Jane the Virgin or something.
Yeah, which I can only assume that I babysat for Sarah and Creston last night, and when I walked into their house, she was watching Jane the Virgin. She's like, I've never seen this before. I assume she heard about it from the toast.
Yeah.
Because I'm just seeing him on the screen, and I watched a little bit that was on the TV.
What'd you think?
I personally could not get into it. Mm-hmm. So I just don't get it, but I can tell by his character that he's supposed to be like the good guy in that show.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure if I did watch that show and if I got into it, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I love this guy because he plays that character. Like, I'm sure I could get there.
Yeah. I just feel
I'm
like
just not.
So another thing is like, people are like, he is such a good guy. He has all these books and blah, blah, like podcasts about being a good person. I'm just like, okay, but like, just because you have all these podcasts about like wanting to be a good person, like actions speak louder than words in this situation. And if everyone says, in the words of Heather Dubrow, if everyone says you're dead, it's time to lie down. And that's kind of like what I'm thinking it is happening in this situation. Even, okay, so there's this interview that Jenny Slate did where they asked her point blank, like, how do you feel about Justin Baldoni being a director and one of the lead actors in this? And she did not even address him. She, like, you could tell she did not want to talk about it. She was like, oh, I personally could never be like a writer or an actor on something. Like, that's so crazy. Like, she didn't address the Justin of it. She just was like, turned it back to her because she did not want to talk about him. And then she also posted on her Instagram a picture with Blake Lively, and she was just like singing Blake's praises.
I'm just so confused because I also am smelling shit, right? Yeah. The only thing that's interesting to me is like, this wouldn't, if he didn't purchase the rights to make the movie, like the movie wouldn't be happening. You know what I mean? Or at least right now.
The movie would have happened with someone else because, I mean, this book blew up in 2020. It's like Colleen Hoover's such a popular author.
I just want to believe, that he at least had the right, maybe like the right hope and maybe not the right execution. Or like, I want to believe there was like, this started out as like,
yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? I don't know.
I'm not saying that like he had like nefarious motives with like making this movie. I just think that kind of, for me, it's very telling when all the women in the movie are standing together, which I love to see. I'm glad this is not a female on female situation. I love to see girlies banding together against a man. And I'm sorry, like, sorry, Justin.
Well, and like tactfully. So it's not, there's a lot of speculation that's happening reading between the lines. And that's probably, they're probably thinking that this is going to make a bigger, like send a bigger message than if they came out and said exactly.
Yeah, I love it. I mean,
it just
I love
like
the drama.
also makes me, I'm so curious to see like some of the scenes in that book that so triggered me to where I was just like sobbing in my bed, like, what am I reading? Am I even going to finish this book? Like seeing those scenes played out from like a man's point of view versus like a woman's point of view, just because like, I mean, the thing on TikTok recently has been like, would you choose like a man or a bear? You know, it's like you choose the bear because like men are scared. Like women are just automatically always going to be a little more afraid. Like men are stronger. Men are big. It's like there's always like that little like you got to be like you know, you got to be like on your chest.
We
so
are the more vulnerable gender, and I know people like women are strong. Women can do whatever the fuck
emotionally,
they want, but physically, when you lay down the facts, women are genetically so much weaker than men, and that's why we are like usually victims.
That's why like some of those scenes I'm like, I wonder how he, like, I can literally put myself in that situation, and it's like I wonder how he sees that, you know.
Everyone, I was walking down South Congress the other day, and there's this homeless guy, unhoused man, and he is acting erratic. And I'm like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I've said this on this podcast before. I will judge you if you look crazy. And if you're acting crazy, I'm not going to treat you with like that you're not crazy. You know what I mean? This guy, so I see him. He's like coming up from behind me. I actually had my headphones on both ears, which I never do. And Hank started looking behind me and I was like, oh, fuck. He's erratic. I will fuck you up. Fuck. Like saying the N-word super loud, like just going crazy. So I kind of go off into this parking lot. There's like a Freebirds, a bank, no business is open. So I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? He stops and stares at me and is just screaming at me while I'm in this parking lot. I will fuck you up. I will fuck you up. And I'm like, this guy and I are probably the same height, but like he would fuck me up. Literally, he would. And it was so scary. And like,
you're like, what can Hank do?
I know. Hank's not doing shit.
But it's like maybe
he would.
I think Hank.
But you just don't know.
Yeah.
Also, that's not you judging someone's circumstances. That's you reading the situation and knowing what your safety, like how your safety is affected.
But like, I think I see a lot of like sketchy, unhoused men or sketchy men on the trail, and like I like do my best to get around them, like, and I don't want to be anywhere near them because my safety is a priority, and you just like never know these days.
Totally.
Yeah, that's different than
judging. That's different than judging. That's
not that person's disgusting and they should be ashamed of themselves. That's like,
no, they
need
are
to prioritize
disgusting.
my safety and what I can do for myself in this moment.
But it's like, I don't think men, like all the guys around, because there was a bunch of people walking. None of the guys were scared. Like they acted like not nervous at all. Like I tried to get into this bank and it was too early. The bank wasn't open. This guy's standing out here and he's like, oh, whatever. He doesn't even ask me like if I'm okay. And it's just like, they don't care. Like they don't even see that as a threat. And like, if there was a woman there, she'd be like, let's like be safe together.
Yeah, let's walk together.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd have to be like, hey, can I walk with you?
Yeah.
To like a man.
Yeah. And they'd say, no, get away from me.
I know. Okay. So have you guys been watching the Olympics?
I did a little bit.
One thing I want to bring up that is very pertinent to us is that, you know, the NFL has switched to a very girly vibe. You know, we have Olivia Culpo representing the 49ers. We have Alex Earl representing the Miami Dolphins. We have Taylor Swift leading the charge with the Kansas City Chiefs. But guess what? Guess who the Bears have?
Simone Biles, baby.
Simone motherfucking Biles, the GOAT. And I don't think the Chicago Bear fans are doing enough to like buoy Simone in this time.
No, but I do appreciate the Chicago Bears social media.
Yeah, they did post about her.
Because they were supporting our girl.
Like, I want a Chicago Bears jersey that has Biles on the back of it.
Hell yeah.
Obviously, Simone is so much more than a wag. Like that goes without saying. Taylor Swift is so much. All these women are so much more than a wag. To me, they represent like they get me invested in football. So I love having this powerhouse, greatest of all time gymnast. Like Simone is like. We are so lucky to be living in a
Honestly,
time of Simone Biles.
I don't even remember her husband, boyfriend. I don't even remember
No,
his name,
exactly.
and I watched the thing and I was very excited. I really like him and stuff, but she's Simone Biles.
She's
So
Simone Biles, and
is-
she is our wag. She's the Chicago Bears wag.
It's crazy.
It's so exciting.
That she was the main reason why I was watching
Yeah.
the Olympics, so I kind of stopped when gymnastics was over. But and I'm sorry, can we her floor routine starting with
Ready for it? Yeah.
it just like
How much more us
just
can
gives
it
me
be?
chills.
She's married to a Chicago Bears. Her floor routine is ready for it. Like when we are in Chicago for the Patriots game, we have to meet Simone. Like we have to meet
I don't
Simone.
even know how I would address her.
Mrs. Biles,
Mrs. Goat.
Mrs. Goat,
Excuse me, Mrs. Goat. I'm so
Mrs.
sorry.
Olympian. Mrs.
It's
Gold
just like
medal
the
Olympian.
way that the height that she gets is just, it defies physics. Like,
I know.
what the heck.
The fact she did like a three back tuck.
Probably.
It's so
And
insane.
so many things are named after her because she's the first and like only one that can do it right now. I'm
Yeah.
like, are you kidding?
Yeah, I'm obsessed that she is.
She could jump over Shaquille O'Neal.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is such a goat. And then also we have Gabby Thomas from Austin who won a gold medal. She, by the way, all of our female track team is so stunning. Sydney, she is like beyond gorgeous. Gabby is so gorgeous. There's that other girl. There's like a lot of really stunning female track stars. And I'm just like really proud. I like was not trying to be into the Olympics, but it like kind of got me.
Well, it was like for the girls.
Yeah,
kind
the
of
Olympics
fun
are for the girls.
The track athletes are the most like glamorous. They always have like their nails done more than any of the
Yeah.
other athletes. I like that.
And they're so tall in their legs. Like their legs are literally as tall as me and Paige. Like, and honestly, their legs are in better shape than one of their legs is like in better shape than my entire body. And it's, but like Simone Biles is also like 4'10".
Yeah.
She's so short. Like she does not give like short girl energy to me.
No.
No, and she's so real. It's almost
She's
like
real.
It's almost like she doesn't. I mean, and maybe she can't comprehend the way we view her as. Oh my God, it's Simone Biles, and she's
Yeah.
like, I'm Simone Biles, and she just says what she thinks.
Oh yeah, she like talks shit. She's like, I don't give a fuck.
she just keeps it. If good, bad, whatever. She's just like keeping it
Michaela
real.
Skinner.
That was.
That was so crazy. I actually kind of felt bad for Michaela Skinner. She's like, it definitely was punching down. Because you know, Michaela Skinner made this comment that like the girls were lazy, and she also did something that I really fucking hated, where she was like, oh, it's just different than the Marta days. And Marta is this like gymnast, like coach that is very connected to Larry Nassar, the pedophile freak. And so I think Michaela just like, that was a very poor taste in what she did. But then the entire country just like went after her. It was like,
It was.
fuck.
I mean, it's. I don't know what she was thinking.
I know.
It's really hard. I feel bad that she got so attacked, but like I don't know
Paige
what
is
you
like,
were expecting.
sorry, justice is served.
It's just like, why did you say that?
Okay, wait, that brings me into I didn't even write this down, but that brings me into, did you see the drama on TikTok about that girl about the birthday party?
Of course.
I was obsessed. Talk about the most like unself-aware person ever.
Tell me what
Okay,
happened.
Baily.
Baily.
Has no fucking idea. Okay, so there's this like large TikToker, Rhegan777. And she was having a birthday party, and this girl made a TikTok that was like, I'm so excited. I'm going to Rhegan777's birthday party as a +1 with one of my friends, and I'm a psych major, so you know I'm going to be analyzing everyone. This is my OOTD. And then people are like, did you have fun? And she said no. And then she's like, I'm getting attacked or I'm getting canceled because I said that this influencer's birthday party that I went to wasn't fun, but she was like, look at what I was dealing with. She put this like video up
of like an empty bar.
Of like an empty bar with like the basketball squeaking shoes that made it sound, it was me.
Basically like crickets.
Yeah. And so then so she kind of keeps doubling down on it, and she keeps inviting this conversation. So everyone's like, this is fucking weird. People start making videos being like, this is weird. Like, first of all, you didn't even address this influencer by her name. You're like Rhegan777 instead of just like Rhegan's birthday party, whatever. And she, in her video, was like, I was a Bumble ambassador. I'm used to like a certain level of events, and this didn't meet my expectations. I usually like have Ubers and like an open bar, and like this didn't meet the level that I was expecting. I'm not going to pay to not have fun. Basically, like I'm not going to pay for my own drinks to not have fun at a birthday. Then she makes another video doubling down. She's like, I am getting canceled by this influencer's weird fandom, which by the way, you said you were a fan and now you're just not.
You were excited and you called her by her handle, not her name.
And nobody's like canceling
and
you.
You're +1.
They're reacting to a video that you put on the internet. And so she's saying like, I go live every single day, and this person's weird fans are in my comments, you know, harassing me, which I'm sure they are. But then she's like, Rhegan is in my live. She's not even defending me. In the live, Rhegan's like, hey, please, I've DM'd you. Please respond to my DMs. Like, we need to talk this out. And instead of her, she just is like being such a victim. She's like, I'm sorry. This is just my opinion. I don't want to be canceled for my opinion. And you're just like,
but honestly, it was just cruel.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't an opinion. You're like being a bitch.
Well, and it's like, it's not like a brand invited you to this thing saying like, hey, we want to invite you to this event. Can you please post about it on social? Like, we'll have drinks. Like, we'll get your Ubers, you know, that it's like when that happens, it's like a transactional deal. Like, we'll provide this for you if you also then provide like content for us.
Yeah. No one, that's actually, like you weren't even invited.
Yeah. That is a thing that happens, and that's more of like a business transaction. This, you were a +1 of a guest for a birthday party.
Yeah.
Like, why do you expect to be treated like you're the royalty influencer at this event?
Yeah, and you're obviously a +1, so you're not even in this person's friend group whatsoever. So like maybe it wasn't fun for you because you don't belong there.
And if you're going to an event that has, hey, we're going to pay for your Ubers, this is going to be covered, you know about that ahead of time. Mm-hmm. So when you're posting your little OOTD, you know, you would already know if those things were going to be provided or not, right?
Yeah.
Like, so why are you so surprised when you go to a party that you were a guest's guest?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
I want to know how her relationship with this person who's actually friends with Rhegan is. I need an update on that, because I would be so fucking pissed if I brought my friend to somebody's birthday party and then they start talking shit about that person. Like, at the end of the day, this is a person behind this, and it's clearly she invited a bunch of people to this birthday party. She's only 24 too.
Well, like, and a lot of other people had a good time because other people were posting their videos like, oh, not sure what time you got there, but when I was there, this is the scene that I saw, and it was like a party.
Yeah. It was just like really rude and cruel. And then now she's trying to make herself the victim. And the thing that's funny about it is like, there's only one of two things. I guess there's like probably three things that could have happened by her making that video. First of all, the first thing that could happen is that everyone would be on her side, and then it would direct a lot of hate towards Rhegan. The second thing that could happen would be just people being neutral, the video not reaching anyone. And the third thing that could happen is it could have backfired, because she's making a very polarizing statement. And as we know with the internet, no one's just neutral on the internet. Like, if you are making a crazy statement, it will either be met with extreme agreements or extreme like disagreements. Is that a word?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
We're following.
Extreme agreement or extreme disagreement.
Yeah.
What happened to her was the disagreement. So she is putting out the troll, and then she's being trolled on top of that, and now she's the victim.
The thing is, it seems like she's trying to expose a peek behind the curtain. This is such a they're not showing their real life. This is all like I saw behind the scenes, and it's not as interesting as you think it is. And then it's like, okay, even if it was a bad birthday party, like that doesn't change.
There? Well, and it wasn't your birthday party.
Yeah. And then now
it wasn't even your friend.
But I think it's so weird also is that she is now getting harassed online, and then she's making it Rhegan's problem that she's getting harassed. She's saying Rhegan is not making her weird fans, like she's not basically helping the cause. But like, first of all, you weren't even invited to this party, and then you talk shit about this girl, and now you want this girl to help you?
No.
It's so crazy.
It's bizarre.
And like the psych major of it all, like I want to know this girl's GPA, because like this is like the weirdest fucking thing I've ever seen of like somebody who is supposed to like know human psychology.
Yeah.
And it's like we all have been on, we know how the internet works. You knew that this was going to get some sort of reaction, and it got the wrong one, and now you are because if she got a positive reaction, she wouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't know how many followers she had beforehand, but it's like I do wonder if maybe she does kind of just talk shit about a lot of things in her life, and nothing's really picked up because maybe she didn't have as big of a following, you know what I mean? And then this because of the other girl, like really blew
she
up.
had 50,000 followers, and another thing that she said, she's like, it's okay for someone with 50,000 followers to have an opinion about something and not to have fun. I'm like, nobody's even talking about followers. Like, this has nothing to do with followers. You're making it about the followers.
Well, and it's okay if you didn't have a good time, but why do you have to like
bash her?
Why do you have to go on? You can just you can tell your friends in IRL, I didn't have a good time.
Yeah, like talk shit in the group chat. Like literally talk shit in the group chat. Like normal people do. Another thing, her videos all have like 5 million plus views, and I'm so jealous of the money she's making off this. Like she's probably making so much money.
So it's working.
I mean, it's a short-term play.
For what she, and maybe that is what she wants. To your point, it's like, was this calculated or was this an accident? Like what, I don't know.
Her other videos though, she's like, have you ever had a very privileged friend hate you? I'm like, that sounds very niche. Like,
it kind of sounds like, actually, privileged or not, your friends might hate you.
Yeah, it's like when everyone says you're dead, it's time to lie down. Okay. Another thing I want to talk about. Okay. Me and Mr. Roberts have been so obsessed with Chapel Roan lately. And I just want all the girlies to know that you are living in a very privileged time with all this like pop music coming out right now. Like it feels like very reminiscent of the early 2000s with like Britney, Christina, Jessica, Willa Ford, like all those girlies.
That's actually, yeah, you're right.
Because we have Chapel Roan,
Sabrina,
we have Sabrina,
Taylor, obviously
Taylor. Taylor's honestly like their Madonna.
That's funny.
I know. We have Chapel, Olivia, Sabrina, Tate McRae. We have like Megan Maroney. I know she's not pop, but she's like big in country.
I listened to her new album yesterday.
Did you like it?
I really like it, and I would say it's like pop country.
So she's giving future Taylor Swift,
and she's giving pre-therapy Paige.
Wait, why?
She's giving pre-therapy and post-therapy. She's you can tell she went through therapy, but some of these emotions really were like pre-therapy.
Rage Paige.
Yeah, like she goes all in. I'm trying to think of the song but it's like this one ex like really did her dirty, and she's so emotional about it, like me, like her. It's a lot of I'm like, this was diary entries, like, for sure. I really like her though, and I listened to her on Call Her Daddy, and listening to her on Call Her Daddy, she's one of us. Yeah, she's one of us for sure.
100%. She's a girly. I think that's why people really like her, because she does just seem like your friend from home, you know?
Totally.
But I'm really, really excited. We were talking about this before we started recording, but Chapel Roan is so Baily coded, and the fact that Baily's like just getting into Chapel is kind of crazy.
I just like don't listen to music that much.
I was going to say, I think now that we put Chapel in front of Baily, I think she's going to go further than like we will.
Okay.
I've seen Chapel. I knew that she existed before today. That was even going to be my guess when you started playing the song.
Yeah.
I was going to guess her.
Well, I'm really excited because she's going to be at ACL.
That's crazy.
I'm so excited. And she goes on at like 4:20, which is so wild.
It's crazy. Well, because
it's
like they booked her before she blew up.
It's like when my very first ACL 2021, when it was like MGK went on at like 2 p.m. Meg Thee Stallion went on at like 3 p.m. They had like all these huge people. That's when Doja Cat was there. That was a really good year. Billie Eilish, she was obviously a headliner.
I wonder if they're gonna have to change Chapel's place.
No, I think that's
they can't.
No, but I'm really, really excited. I know Chapel Roan doesn't. I'm not her target market. Like I'm a straight millennial girly. Like, but I just want her to know, like, we all love her.
I think she knows.
You think?
Yeah.
Elton John. Have you seen the videos of Elton John talking about her? He's obsessed with her. Elton John is like, this is like a once in a lifetime like kind of talent. Like you are you're gonna fucking kill it. He just like sings her praises. Sweet. I know, it makes me want to cry.
I was gonna say, why do I want to cry?
I know.
I'm like tearing up.
But it's so we were in the pool the other day, me and Mr. Roberts, and he was like, "Oh, I like this song," and I was like, "No, you don't understand. Like this is a song that she wrote before she blew up, and like she's been playing this song to like basically nobody. She had a record deal. She got dropped from that label. She had to move back to Missouri. She was working in fast food, and then she got re-signed, and like now this song is like the biggest song. Like it's her closing song. You can just hear, like, it means so much to so many different people. Like how me and Mr. Roberts interpret it. It's like you have this dream that nobody understands, that nobody like can. It's unconventional, and it's like, no, I'm gonna be dancing at the Pink Pony Club. Like, that's my dream.
I'm a pink pony girl.
And it's like for a lot of people, it's like kind of the sound of like the LGBTQIA, which I love, because it's like, no, like you don't understand. There's a group of us that like we just want to dance on stage in our heels.
Like we just need to go to the place where our people are.
Yeah. And so it means so much. And I know she didn't mean it the way I'm taking it, but like that's kind of.
But that's the beauty of music.
Yeah. And like, I just love that it means so much for, like, there's this video on TikTok of that. Did you see the old guy in the pink shirt at one of her concerts? He was by himself.
No.
And he was like, and everyone's comments are like, he needed his pink pony.
No. Oh my gosh. Well, that's like the other beautiful thing, because it's not that you have to go to the place. Like it's a beacon of light that like other people, like there's pink ponies everywhere.
I know, like everyone needs their pink pony club.
Okay, stop making me cry.
I've been the weepiest person this past week. I just will burst into tears at the drop of a hat.
But so, I also have to say that it's just the amount of talent that she has too is just like so crazy and effortless.
Yeah, because she just started voice lessons, like,
and she's just like singing. She wasn't like, I'm gonna be a singer. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like, this is my one goal in my life is to like, which is crazy, because it's like, how has that not been your lifelong dream?
Yeah, like you're so talented beyond. She's giving Gaga.
Well, exactly. And I miss Gaga. Like
I miss Gaga.
I miss Gaga so.
We're Gaga girlies.
We love Gaga. Like she's right there.
Gaga walked so Chapel can run, and the society is way more
equipped,
like ready to receive a Chapel.
Because Gaga, I remember I think it came out in 2009, her first album, Just Dance, was like her first single. And I remember we were so obsessed with Gaga's album. Like it was all that was played in my little sorority house. And I feel like that album, like Chapel's album, gives that initial album. And remember, Gaga came out with an album right after that. And I feel like Chapel's got more music in her, because she just released Good Luck Babe. Like that's not even on the rise of a Midwestern princess.
Wow.
I'm so excited. Like I feel like what are your top favorite ACL performances? Because I've only been a few years.
Seeing?
Oh.
I thought you were talking about for the future, like this year.
No, like what are your because there's nothing like, okay, first of all, being with your sisters and like seeing music that just like really touches us.
I think that like Dixie, the chicks in Atlantis were really
hard
important for me.
Yeah.
And they were really great. Like they were really great.
The chicks were so good.
They were so good.
Opened with Sin Wagon. Like, is this for me?
Truly.
Like Natalie,
I can't believe
you
they
see
opened
me?
with Sin Wagon. That was like so random because I feel like that's a very like
I didn't know
a
anyone.
niche Brant family.
Yeah, I wouldn't
song.
expect them to even play Sin Wagon.
Yeah,
She was looking right at me.
she was.
Yeah.
I also think that Luke Combs was really good. I saw him one year. Meg Thee Stallion, like that was
I was sobbing during Meg
I
Thee
was
Stallion.
emotional.
No, you lost your mind during Meg Thee Stallion.
That
I
was
was
one of my
really
most
emotional.
upset I've been because I was not with you guys for Meg Thee Stallion. I was separated. And
Yeah.
the person I was with did not get it. And I was like, you have to stop talking. You can go wherever you want to
Yeah.
go because this is art.
I also
And Miley.
Miley was really good.
Yeah.
I love Miley.
I also really loved Billie Eilish because that was the year that she released I Don't Talk Shit About You Only, and that's like was such a good breakup
You could
ballad.
feel her vibes off
Yeah.
the stage.
She was really, really good.
It's so hard to remember all of the performances because even just last year, let alone like the years past.
Well, I only have a couple. I mean, I guess I've been 3 years in a row. And those are probably the ones that stuck out to me the most. I'm trying to think if there's any. The Chicks, that was like by far one of my favorite.
Yeah.
The first time I went there, but I didn't have a ticket and I was just outside listening to Eminem. I was like, oh my God, this is
Oh my God.
great. Like on the trail when it was closed and we didn't have cash and there was people letting people in for $60. And I learned that you have to have cash all the time.
That's
'Cause you
crazy.
could go in and see Eminem.
I am kind of bummed because on Friday night, first of all, I want to see Dasha. I love Dasha. Did your boots stop? But she's going on at like 2 on Friday. Like that sucks. I mean, I don't know if you guys are taking off work that Friday, but like I know Mr. Roberts isn't going to go.
I still
with
don't
me.
have tickets.
We don't have tickets either, but we can work on that. But on Friday, the headliners are Blink-182 and Chris Stapleton. I want to see both of them.
Yeah.
It's like so annoying.
I hate when they pit artists against each other like that.
I know, and it's like that's like kind of doing the millennials like a disservice.
And the thing that really sucks is what I love about Blink, like in this like tour that they're doing. Like they just did like a Chapel cover.
Yeah, they did
like
Pink Pony Club.
they've done like Taylor covers. Like they they keep up with they'll
trends,
do, you know what I mean? I it's so fun to see your favorite artists that are a completely different genre.
Well,
like
Chapel's your favorite artist.
Exactly. So I'm gonna have to split. I think I'll probably start at Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, I want to end at Blink.
Yeah.
And I've seen both before, so whatever, not to brag, but I have, and I'm very cultured. So. But
I guess
Blink
it's just
honestly
additional.
means way more to me. Like that was one of the first albums I ever had. It was like we got Enema of the State and Spice World.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's more of the ACL vibe I would want is
Yeah,
Blink.
Chris, I mean, I wanted to go see fucking George Strait, and he was the most boring thing ever. I was like, let's go to Miley. Like,
Yeah,
this
that
is
was-
so boring.
I was
I
like,
would want to sit down and like vibe to Chris Stapleton. I want to like take your pants off.
Yeah.
Blink-182.
Yeah,
That's,
I
like,
think
what you want
actually
ACL.
as Brant sisters, I feel like we should just go to Blink and
I'm
just,
a
like, rage
I'm a
out.
Blink girl.
I'm a Blink girl. I love Blink-182.
I love Blink
I am the girl at the rock show.
Okay, I saw this. Let's end it on this. I saw this thing on The Cut that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. Okay, so this is from The Cut's Instagram. It says, "My husband and I have been married for 5 years. When I came along, his family absorbed me like a sponge because I had no family. I was overjoyed to be around laughter and warmth. But then I started to notice things that made me uncomfortable. No one in my husband's family washes their hands before meals. Instead, they touch their faces, pet their family dog, and play with their reptiles, then sit down to the table, proceeding to touch every bagel and piece of crudité, because perusing visually is not enough. I have spotted Shrek-size fuzzy fingerprints on more than a dozen slices of cheese. This all came to a head when I'd had enough last year and said I would be staying home and hoped my husband might support my right to relax on one Thanksgiving in 5 years. But the dirty cheese hit the fan. His family wouldn't hear of it. His mother was in tears, so he chose them. And I sat home, finally seeing the picture of a family I'm only part of if I remain silent. I fear I'm on the verge of divorce. My husband compares my concerns to political differences in his extended family and says everyone knows not to speak up and to simply keep peace. nice. But this isn't politics. It's behavior that violates my boundaries, makes me feel deeply uncomfortable, and threatens my livelihood. I know my husband is the meat in a conflict sandwich, which isn't easy, but I disagree when he says that unintentional slights don't count as harm. I think the lesson I'm learning is how hard it is to be a facer among avoiders. Please help.
Well,
There's so much to unpack.
A roller coaster. I don't.
Yeah, because at first you're like on her side. You're like, oh my God, like fuzzy fingerprints and cheese.
Everyone can agree that you don't touch food you're not going to eat. I feel like all of society should agree. Like, well, everyone would have her back on that
and
part.
Also, like, holding your reptiles before eating is kind of disgusting.
And why do you have reptiles?
And also, like, it's weird that they have reptiles.
And keep dogs are way grosser than reptiles.
Keep them in their little
if you're
cage.
gonna touch them.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like this happens a lot in these kind of situations where it's like, to me, this would just be something that's like a weird quirk that we talk shit about on the way home. And like, I would just like either, if it grossed me out that much, I wouldn't eat, or I would just be the first one in line.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, you and your husband, you make sure that your husband is on board with, we wash our hands. You know, that's what we do. And then we are also the first one's grabbing food.
Yeah.
Or you bring a side and, oh, I forgot my side in the refrigerator. So, you know, it's clean. You take the foil off and you scoop your.
Yeah. I think it's crazy that this is like, you are making this such a big deal that it's leading to divorce. Like, this should be something that like you and your husband talk shit about on the car ride there, on the car ride home, and like
drive through McDonald's.
But I
on the way home, and it's fine.
Violating boundaries.
I also need to know how this was
presented to the mom. Why was she in tears?
Yeah, because it's like, I feel like, did you say, hey, can we all wash our hands before?
Yeah,
like we've been touching a lot of things. You know, like, can we just
Sharon? She's a germaphobe. Like, can we all just do this? Like, for her, since we're all a family,
can we just wash our hands real quick?
The fact that she wants to like not go to Thanksgiving dinner, like that would be so hard to deal with as a partner. Like, if I was put in that position, like where you're putting me in between my family and you, my wife, to not go to Thanksgiving dinner, just like, she's like, to have a break after 5 years of going. Like, what do you mean? You get 365 days of a break.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, hey, you should talk to your family of the reason you should want to wash your hands is because it's healthier, and you know, you might not get sick or as sick, and we don't want to see the fuzzies on the cheese.
Yeah, like we don't want fuzzies.
Or if they're the kind of family that's kind of gross and is fine with picking off the fuzzies and just eating it, that's one thing. But I think that it would be very normal for the husband to be like, hey, my partner would really like it if we just didn't have any fuzzies on any of the cheese.
Well, I also think that like his family seemed to really take this person in, and she doesn't really have family, so she doesn't understand, like, when you have a big family, like, there's just things that are going to happen that really fucking bother you that you have to kind of just deal with. Like, not every family is perfect, but the fact that these people, it seems like they really embraced her and she liked that, and then now she's kind of like turning on them, and then also like trying to put her husband in the middle of this. Like, she's not making it any easier on her husband either. And the fact that she's like, this violates my boundaries. Like, okay, we have to like relax. Boundaries are very important, but like, this is not a boundary. It's not like this person's like doing things to evade.
It's not like they're holding your mouth open and making you eat the fuzzy cheese.
Right. Like, just don't eat the fuzzy cheese. Like, this could be avoided if you just didn't eat there. Like, you have one meal a year where you have to do this.
And maybe she used to have a family and she doesn't anymore because she's such a so insufferable.
She sounds
she
insufferable.
Has to make it a stance to not eat the food. She can't just pick the fuzzies off or not eat.
Yeah,
it's not that big of a deal. Don't eat the food.
And the thing is like, what is she like at dinner parties? Because people do gross stuff all the time. Like, it's not just this guy's family. She's honestly sounds like a pain in the fucking ass. Like, I would divorce her.
Put it in the group chat.
Yeah, like,
send it to Derek. Don't bring it to them.
Send it to Derek.
Daryl. God damn it.
I was like, who
Bailey's trying to have a pop culture
God damn it, I thought I nailed it.
Bailey is Derek. Literally is trying so hard to be like,
I didn't get it until you looked at me, and then I was like, oh,
send it to Derek.
Send it. That's our first merch.
That's our lawyer.
Send it to Derek.
God damn it.
Bailey, that was funny.
I thought I nailed it.
That was really good. I love that.
Thanks. I tried.
Yeah, no, like I think talking shit in the group chat is like truly so underrated, and more people could like find peace within their soul if they just put it in the group chat. Like this is not something that needs to be. First of all, if you're gonna address it, like the husband has to be the one to address it. Like, can you guys please wash your hands and not touch the snake before you put your fuzzy fingerprints on the cheese? Like that needs to come from him.
And it doesn't have to be like, hey, you disgusting fucks, like wash your hands. Like,
hey, you disgusting Republicans, get out of here.
Like it can be addressed in like a nicer way. Not to say they're gonna receive it any better, but maybe.
Yeah, like you get more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. Like, start out sweet. Just say like, hey, like, my bitch wife Veronica is such a fucking germaphobe. Like, can you guys please just wash your hands, and like, let's just try to like use tongs instead of our fingers, or maybe buy tongs for everything, and then people will use them.
Yeah, if you just put them in the thing.
Like, if this was like, okay, how different would this be if this was like a group of friends? It'd be easier because you just don't hang out with the friends, or you don't eat with them,
or the stakes are less high, so it's not as life or death, marriage or divorce.
It sounds like she's creating a lot of problems without providing any sort of solution.
Yeah.
There was another thing I saw on Reddit. I heard a podcast talking about a thing they saw on Reddit, actually. Sinisterhood. And it was the same thing where it was a husband and wife that were married, and one of them was so disgusted by their in-laws because they had a carpeted bathroom. And they were like, I will not, when I go over to their house, I won't drink anything because I know that I'm going to have to use the bathroom and I cannot go in there, and I refuse to stay the night, and it's creating this rift in our marriage and our relationship. And it's like, honey, wear sandals. Like,
yeah.
Or don't drink anything and don't go to the bathroom. I don't care. But she was like, I cannot go to their house anymore.
People make a lot of problems for themselves.
Have you never stayed in a hotel? It was like the big point. Like, there's things you have to do in the public and everything's fine and you can survive it.
Yeah. Totally.
It's wild.
I think only motels really have carpet in the bathroom.
But you don't want to keep her barefoot on like most surfaces.
On most surfaces. Yeah, you're right.
You can't. You have no assumption of cleanliness.
And a carpeted bathroom is not as easy to fix as washing your hands. You know what I mean? It's true. Like you would have to literally like renovate the bathroom, and some people either don't have the budget for that, don't know how to, it's like it may not be the time, and that's okay. Like, relax.
That's the problem, because most people would think a carpeted bathroom not ideal. Not washing your hands. Most people would agree that that's like something that people should do before they eat.
Yeah.
And yet these people are so unlikable in the way they present these problems that now I'm on the side of the snake touchers and the carpet hovers.
I know.
Okay, the comments are kind of like on our side though, because this girl goes, babe, if your husband's family's table manners have you on the verge of divorce, you've got bigger issues going on. Also, the threatens my livelihood is hilarious. Like, girl, bye. It takes seconds to remind your literal family to wash their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is not violating her boundaries, especially if she never established them like an adult. And calling this warm, loving family who cried over her rejection oafs is beyond insulting. I do not fuck with this girl. Oh my God, I agree. I feel like it's just so dramatic. And I know a lot of people like this that like find little problems with everything. And I'm like, what is it like to live in your head? Like, I do not, as someone like me, even me, who I love talking shit, I don't find problems like this.
Yeah.
Even you. Even me.
Okay.
Well, do you guys have anything else to yap about? This Celsius really worked. Like, usually I don't get that much caffeine high from shit like this.
How did you like that flavor?
It was fine.
Okay.
Mango, passion fruit. I am a watermelon girly through and through. It's really like my, I'm trying to say this in like the most politically correct way. It's like my binky or something, like my safety blanket. Like, it just kind of comforts me when I have to do work. Like, I'm like, okay, it's time for work. Where's my watermelon Celsius? It's like Adderall.
I like orange the most.
Which is so funny because like I hate orange.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually hate watermelon. Which like I will avoid watermelon at all costs.
Aren't you one that you don't like any watermelon flavors?
I don't like any.
That's her. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Like, I'm not gonna like cry about it.
You're not gonna like divorce.
I'm not gonna like
it.
divorce.
It's
my
violating
in-laws.
your boundaries by not having.
Me and Mr. Roberts, we are like a very watermelon household. Like, all of our
Watermelon household.
we like all of our flavor. Like if there's a flavor option of watermelon, like that's the one we're gonna choose every time.
Interesting.
I know.
There's one thing I want to say, because do you know who the girl dad of the year is?
Who?
Whom? Jason Kelsey?
No, M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, actually, yeah, Baily,
Wait, what?
go for it.
So his daughter, which I guess maybe was,
Wait,
like,
should we
last
make
year.
this a segment? Girl dad of the week.
Actually,
Oh my gosh, that'd be so. Okay, yes.
Okay, girl dad
First
of the
official
week.
girl dad
First
of the week.
official girl dad of the week goes to
M. Night Shyamalan.
Woo! Why?
His daughter,
His
one
daughters?
of his daughters, directed The Watchers, which was great, and it was very M. Night coded. Like we can kind of see that he
I
probably wrote
love
the
M.
movie.
Night Shyamalan movies.
yeah, so do I. And you can tell because it was her. I think it was her like
Directorial debut.
Yeah, but he was like a producer on it too. So we're like, okay, he's
So cute.
He's like supporting his daughter. He's like, honey, you should do this. You know,
And his new movie that just came out, Trap,
with
his
Josh Hartnett.
daughter is, so the whole premise of the movie is there's a concert that's happening to try to like catch the serial killer, and the pop star is his other daughter, and she wrote a whole album for the movie, and so he pretty much wrote a movie for her to promote her album.
I love that.
It's so cute, and she's so gorgeous. Her like eye to face ratio is off the
big
charts.
eyes?
The biggest eyes. She's so pretty, and she does such a good job in the movie.
How many daughters does he have?
I think 2.
Oh, I love that.
Well, hopefully too, because if not, well, if there's more, I'm sure we'll see some project with. We should Google that.
Yeah. I already have a candidate. Should I nominate the next girl dad of like next week, or keep it a secret?
Keep it in your back pocket.
I would like to propose the not girl dad of the week. What should we call him? The bad girl dad.
The bad
oh my
dad?
God, they're very gorgeous.
The bad dad.
Yeah.
Wait, it sounds like
She's-
he has 3 daughters. Oh my God, he's just
my
like
gosh.
us.
Wait, let me see.
They're very gorgeous.
Yeah, who's their mom?
I don't know. Shivani. Wait, yeah, he has 3 daughters.
That's crazy.
Okay, so I would like to nominate like what should we call like the bad girl dad of the week? Or
Bad
just-
dad.
The bad dad of the week. Okay, the bad dad of the week.
The
is
baddie daddy.
The baddie. No, because that means good.
That's true.
This is the bad dad of the week.
Or just like the dud dad.
The dud dad. No,
That sounds-
this is like the poor dad of the week.
Okay.
Okay, so that's gonna be Louis from Real Housewives of New Jersey.
No. Okay, I'm sorry this is going to be a little long, but like we haven't talked to you guys in a while. Jade, you have to tell Baily about that.
Okay, so you know Real Housewives of New Jersey. Right?
Yes.
Do you know Teresa?
Yes.
You know how she has 4 daughters?
Yes.
Okay. So she married this guy named Louis, and he's very controversial on Real Housewives of New Jersey. Him and Teresa are very much in love, and we love to see it.
They've been
However-
together for a couple years.
Yeah. But he's got a lot of like weird shit going on. So they were on this podcast, their podcast together. And he was talking about how Teresa's daughters are like super proper. He's like, I've never seen such proper girls in my life. You have to like live it up in your 20s, which is like fine. But then he took it to the next level. He's like, I told your daughters, wear a thong, wear a short skirt, go to the clubs, wear a short skirt, wear a thong. Like, why do you have to say that? Why does that mean you're having fun in your 20s? Why don't you just tell them to like let loose, go on a trip, like, drink a little, like. Instead, he's like, wear a thong. And then he doubles down on it. And he's like, yeah, when we were in Greece, they were wearing thongs. And I said, oh my God, you look amazing. You look so good.
Why does he know what kind of underwear they're wearing?
I think
it was like a thong bathing suit.
Oh, okay.
And I think he was like, go change into the thong bathing suit.
Yeah. But isn't that so creepy? Like,
Yes.
Dad would never be like,
No. No.
it's so fucking weird. And Teresa's like, yeah. Like, she's like totally cheering him on. And I'm like, wait, this is so weird.
Yeah, because it's one thing to be like, you're only young once, be safe, but have fun.
Yeah.
And it's also another thing, you're only young once, like wear the outfits you want to wear. Like express yourself the way you want to express yourself. That is so different than saying,
Wear a thong.
hey, put on the thong bathing suit. Wear the thong bathing suit. Oh my gosh.
And
now you're in the thong bathing suit. You look great.
Yeah.
Shut up.
No, it's like, please don't talk about me wearing a thong. Like, you're a man. You're not only a man, first of all, you're my mom's new husband. Even if like our dad told us to do that. That's fucking so weird.
But
and
that's
gross.
the thing. He would never tell us. He would accept if we walked outside to get in the pool and we were wearing a thong bathing suit. He wouldn't say go inside and change.
Yeah,
that's
but
the bathing suit we're wearing that
That's
day.
the bathing suit.
And he wouldn't even address it.
There is no addressing, but he's not going to say either way, go wear something different. He's not going to tell us to what to wear.
Exactly.
No matter what it is.
Well, because our dad has been trained by mom. Like, he knows better. And he's a decent human being.
Yeah.
Like, he's normal. Like, he wouldn't even want to say that on his own, but like, he just knows, like, there's like, you just don't do that. And that's fucking weird. And I just thought that was so strange. I had something else to say about it, but I forget. But it's like so Teresa to like just be okay with this behavior.
Oh, that's weird.
I know, it's really fucking weird. Like, I can't even imagine.
Okay, next week let's start with the dead dad, and then we can end
bad
on the
bad
good
dad.
one.
The good dad. Okay.
I don't like the way I feel now. Now I feel sad.
I feel
I'm thinking,
sad.
waking up in the morning,
Thinking about so many things. Just wish things would get better. Actually, if you're watching Real Housewives of New Jersey, which I'm so behind, but they had this like really explosive moment in this last finale, and I can't wait to watch the season because this made me want to watch it. But basically the gist was this whole season revolves around who invited Louis' ex over for something. I need to get the full backstory, but then they've kind of blamed it on Margaret the whole time. I love Margaret. She's one of my favorite housewives ever. And Teresa and Margaret fucking hate each other. They've been blaming it on Margaret. Margaret finds out that it's actually this other girl, Jackie Goldschneider, who used to be like enemies with Teresa. Now they're best friends.
Awkward.
So Margaret's like, Jackie, you actually invited Louis' ex over and you are the one that's lying about it. And she's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? You're such a liar, Margaret. You're trying to deflect.
There's receipts.
And then Melissa's like, honestly, it sounds like she has receipts. You should probably just like fucking own up to it now if you want to. She's like, yeah, I did. It was so
embarrassing.
And Jackie Goldschneider literally has loser fucking behavior.
She's like from the beginning, right?
From the not from the beginning.
That's you're thinking of
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Okay.
Jackie Goldschneider's only been on, but she's only a friend of this year too, and it just is such loser behavior. She's like, actually, I'm glad we talked this out because I was so scared of you learning about it. She should have just been like, yeah, it was me. Like, we fucking hated each other. You were coming after my husband. I wanted to come after your husband. Like, that's that. Instead, she was such a loser about it. Lied about it. Then there's this scene where she's walking out and she turns the corner and all the girls are there and she like backs up because she doesn't want to see the girls. I'm like, you're such a loser. Like, literally the most loser behavior ever. And also another thing that Jackie Goldschneider did that I fucking hate when people do this. Jackie, a lot of her story revolves around her being she has an eating disorder that she's been in treatment throughout the years, whatever. Obviously, all these housewives are on Ozempic. Like, they all just got so fucking skinny and like, good for them. I'm personally jealous, like, but go off, queens. But Jackie is one of those people that makes everything about her. And so now Ozempic is triggering her. And she says it's so bad that these girls are using Ozempic to lose weight because of her past eating disorder. And I'm like, this is nothing to do with you. Like, their bodies and what they're doing has nothing to do with you. No one's even fucking talking about it. They're all eating still. Like, shut the fuck up.
Well, and she can have those feelings and even express it, but not in a judgmental way where this is bad that you're doing that. It's
Exactly.
like, I don't think that would be healthy for me. And even the conversation makes me a little uncomfortable. And this is my side of the story. 'Cause
Right.
I bet other people would identify with that if it wasn't coming at another person.
And
100%.
if it is that triggering for her, then maybe this show isn't the best thing for you.
Exactly.
Maybe Ozempic isn't for her. It's kind of
Obviously,
cut and dry.
it's literally not for you. You're actually somebody who should not be on Ozempic. So there's
And that's
that.
And that's
Like,
not on that.
provide support to people who are going through the same thing with you. Like any other ED survivors, you should be like, hey, are you triggered by Ozempic? Me too. That sucks. Like, but we have to focus on ourselves. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, and this is what's helped me to stay focused on like my path.
Yeah, instead of like making it seem like a lot of people
that it's
benefit.
everyone else's problem.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry if you've ever been so out of control or out of touch with your body where you're just like, oh my God, I'm like eating good, I'm working out? Like Dolores, for example, she eats really healthy. She's in the gym all the time. Ozempic helped her lose a lot of weight, and the relief you feel when you lose weight, not in the way of like, oh my God, I'm so skinny. Like you just feel like the air is let out of your tires. And it is like a nice feeling to like be able to like breathe. Like when you guys know I'm like the biggest yo-yoer ever. Like I've been so many different weights. And so it's like when I am on the heavier side of things, I feel so fucking uncomfortable. And to have something that can help you like quiet the food noise, lose a little bit of weight so where you feel comfortable, not even to where like, because when I talk about this, I'm like, I'm 10 pounds heavier. Like I want to lose that 10 pounds. People are like, no, you look great. I'm like, I know, but I don't feel great. Yeah. And like, I'm not trying to lose 10 pounds to be at like my lowest weight. I'm trying to lose 10 pounds so I can just be at my comfortable weight.
Yeah.
And I think that's like okay to say.
I think it's okay to say. And I think that it's nice when people want to try to comfort or something, but it's also just okay to say a fact about how you're feeling. Same thing for me. I have about 10 pounds that I want to lose. And it's like, the reason I know that is because my pants don't button anymore. And I would like to feel, I don't want to buy new clothes. Exactly. I would like to feel good in the clothes that I have. And I don't hate myself that this happened. I also know that there's something I could do to change it.
Yeah. I feel the same exact way. I don't hate myself. I don't hate my body. I actually love my body, which is why I want to lose a little bit more weight so I can like feel comfortable in the clothes that I have without having to buy new clothes.
And if I liked the way I felt in my body right now, I would be okay with buying the new clothes, but I don't like the way I feel or the way I look, so I don't want to make this be like accept this. I know.
And I feel like people make you feel like you have to accept your body. You have to like accept whatever it's going through. And it's like, I do accept it, but I also do want to feel good too.
Yeah. I mean, it's my literal vessel. I have to accept it. This is who I am in the world at this moment. And at the same time, there's like, it's okay to want to better it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's like such a tricky situation because the way I would talk about this on a podcast versus like just if it were us, like it's so different because like, I don't want anyone else to feel bad about their bodies. And the way we talk about weight is like so not emotional.
It's very we're desensitized to a lot of the trigger. I think what really triggers people is actually talking about weight and saying like I'm 10 pounds heavy, like talking about actual like a number of pounds and like saying weight doesn't really affect us, but I can understand how that is triggering for other people.
And it doesn't affect my self-worth at all because I'm still a really good teacher. We think I'm still doing all the things. Like I know that I should still be around and everything. Everyone still likes me and I still do a really good job at things. And also I know I could do this just for me.
Yeah.
But I think the main point is the feeling better. The feeling better about and having more energy, honestly.
Yes. That's the thing. It's just, not to, we like went on a little tangent there, but like, fuck you, Jackie Goldschneider.
Yeah.
You're a fucking weenie. And Louis. Sorry.
Anyways,
I think this was great to end it on.
Yeah.
Do you feel good ending it here, Baily?
I feel great ending it here. I'm glad we got to talk about M. Night. I'm glad you guys got to teach me about the bad dad and
the bad dad.
Great segment we'll add to it. So if you have a good dad or a bad dad you want us to know about, you could email us at yourpoordad@gmail.com. You could rate, review, and subscribe to us anywhere you listen to podcasts. Leave a 5-star review and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Your Poor Dad Pod. And that's it.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.